Okay, so I want to make a video talking about trading strategy going into the update as far as, what's good, what might change, all that. Um, I'm not going to recommend one strategy because we don't have enough info to go off of. I basically just want to talk about the strategies that generally people have toward trading, or the views people have toward trading, and roughly talk about what's good, what's not good, and kind of my guesses as far as what might work. Say I'm gonna tell you what I'm doing with trading, which is basically, I'm gonna be hoarding gems. My goal or hope is that I can buy into Oblivion Pack and Inferno and all those at 4,000 gems each and just make content off of that because it would be funny. I don't. Again, they might cut the whole pack system, and we have no idea how they're going to be changing it. So just do whatever you want to with trading, but I'm going to go over the strategies that I think are viable for it. Um, in general, though, if you love an item, keep it. I'm not going to say go for one of these strategies. If you love, let's say you have a Divine Shadow, don't sell your Divine Shadow if you love it, keep it. Doesn't matter what I recommend or what I am guessing will work, which these are very much guesses as far as what I think might be the best because I'm just going off of how Sub is updated in the past and what he's done for Anime Defenders and Deathball. I would guess he does a very simple version of a rework to fix things. I don't think there's going to be some massive overhaul. If there's a massive overhaul, I'll be surprised. For context, the dev team is like three people. It's Sub, Wise, and Newbie, and then I think they have one or two other people that help. I think they have two other people that help, is what I've heard at least. That might be completely wrong, but from what I was told, it's a pretty small dev team. So I would expect if it's an earlier release that they mostly just re-add the card packs back and then release ranked season 2 and tournaments and all the other stuff. Maybe they cut some of the content, who knows. As far as when I would guess the update's coming out, I would think he tries to get it out before Christmas. The main thing is all the kids get money for Christmas for their birthdays, or not for their birthdays, for Christmas money from Santa and all that stuff. So I would guess he tries to take advantage of all of that. We'll see what he does, but that's my guess. If it's out after Christmas, he's going to miss out on a lot of money. And considering he dropped Death Ball for Anime Defenders to basically make money, I would think he tries to get the update for Death Ball ready for money, but we'll see. I think that's a pretty good logic for how he's updated games previously, but we'll see. As far as what I expect he might change for trading is I think gem rates could be changed. So the amount of gems you get from everything in the game could be increased. I doubt that he's going to decrease it. That wouldn't really make sense. Increasing it would be the more logical choice because all of the old gems that were generated, so all the people with hundreds of millions of gems, and I think a couple people reached a billion gems, if he wants to counter those gems and make them less relevant, then increasing the gem farming rate makes sense. And it would be a more proper full reset to the economy if he wants to do that. Now, if he wants to just fix the economy, then it makes sense to not change it. You would just leave it as is and let people generate a bunch of items with the gems that have already been created. So 50-50 as far as whether he would do a full overhaul or more of a band aid to try to fix the current economy. It's do you want a fix for the current economy or do you want it to be a whole new era of trading? So it's a preference thing. We don't really know what Sub prefers of the two. He said he wants to fix gem inflation, but he didn't say he wants to reset the economy. So, off of his wording in the post, you would think he tries to fix it, so he probably won't change gem rates off of the wording. But again, that was probably very early on into them deciding they were going to update Deathball again. So, we'll have to see what he actually does. So, that's probably the biggest change he could make as far as what it would do to the economy besides re-adding items and how he does that. Robux to gem rates might change. Right now, it's I believe $20 for 350k if you're buying officially from the Death Ball market of the Death Ball market being when you open the gem microtransaction thing and it has the options to buy directly from sub. That rate's horrible. So Maybe he increases that. Maybe he leaves it alone and he brings prices down. We have no idea how he'll decide to handle that or if he will even change it. So who knows? The old rate back when I started playing was $20 for 250K, I believe. Maybe it was 200K, but he's increased the rate a little bit over time, so I don't think he's completely against changing it, considering he's done it once before at least. But we'll have to see what he does. I think pack rates could change. So the percentage for you to get a mythic and all that might go lower or higher, and the price to open a pack in general might go lower or higher. I don't know if he would necessarily mess with that. If they're going to cut the whole pack system, then it's completely irrelevant. But I'm kind of expecting him to re add packs and tweak them instead of reworking the whole system. It's a small dev team, so I would expect the simpler fix to generally be better. Because if they can get it out before Christmas, it's probably better for the game than doing a massive overhaul and having it come out in February or something. So we'll see how he handles it, but that's one thing we have no idea on. S grades might change. The old rumor was that S grades would be getting perks and they might be getting unique finishers, which we'll see. That would probably increase the value of them. It's just a matter of what is the perk and how good are the finishers that are unique to S grades. So we'll see. Single swords might be getting single sword mythics. So Divine Shadow non-graded. So it's not A grade, it's not A plus, it's not S grade. They might be getting the S grade idols for free. Again, old rumor. We'll see. Ranked rewards, tournament rewards, leaderboard rewards, battle pass rewards, and quest rewards. We all have no idea what they're going to be. They might be swords, they might be gems. The economy handles it very differently depending on if they generate a ton of gems, if it generates a ton of items. If it generates a ton of items, then prices will be really cheap. If it generates a ton of gems, then prices will go really high, and you're going to have to farm that content to keep up, really. If you don't farm that content, you won't be able to keep up. So we'll see. AFK rates might change. They could cut the gem reward. They could increase the gem reward. We have no idea. They might reduce it. They might add more auras. Who knows? They didn't talk about doing that. But if they're trying to fix gem inflation long term, AFK aura should probably be nuked because it kills the game. GemToki, I think they might buff. If they left AFK Aura alone, I think you should buff GemToki to make it more relevant. If you're not going to touch GemToki, though, then it's not great. It's okay, but I think they could do some sort of small buff for GemToki. Unless they're trying to make it where all of the big items are a million each. So Enigma, Divine Shadow, all that is about a million. Then GemToki is fine the way he is. It's just they need to make sure GemToki is relevant enough that people actually like buying him and farming with him. So we'll see. The main thing I talked about with the moderators was, well, one of the moderators was that they were considering adding packs on a rotation. So every week we would be getting a new pack, and then I don't know if the amount of packs opened or the mythic count would be limited per week, but that would be another thing they could do. We'll just have to see. And as far as the actual strategies, begging and scamming is an obvious no, don't do it. Everyone talks about who's a beggar or a scammer, and no one wants to be around them. All the kids that beg for free swords, none of the big traders like dealing with that. So if you want to build your connections in the game and network, don't beg people for items because none of the traders like dealing with those people ever. Even if you joke about it, people are not very thrilled because the big traders have dealt with it for so long that they don't like it. And then scamming is an obvious thing. As a side note, I've heard of a new scam where people can basically take your items through a trade. So if you're trading with people, be very careful. I don't know if that's a credible thing, but one of my viewers that's been watching for a very long time told me about it. So I would be very careful with trades. I would probably suggest you don't trade for now until that bug is fixed. And I don't know if that will be fixed anytime soon because there's been a lot of trading exploits that people are getting scammed by. Even talking to one of the moderators, they said that there's been a lot of exploits that sub hasn't really dealt with. So I would advise against trading as far as going trading item for item. If you want to go buy and resell, that's fine as far as I've heard. So I wouldn't worry about it. Plus, a lot of people have, S Amethyst, S Divine up on their booths and stuff. If they're going to hit someone, it's going to be one of them. So us poorer people are not really a target the same way S Divine owners are. So if the way I would judge it is if you see people confident in holding their S Divine and S Amethyst on their booth, it's safe to have items on your booth. That's how I would judge it. Now, it's possible they don't know something, but that's the way I would judge if it's safe to have items on your booth. Just do it that way. As far as other strategies go, going gems only, I think, is iffy. It's it could be the best strategy, but it depends if he tries to fix the economy or if he tries to reset the economy. Now, the way I basically can explain this is if he tries to add new supply in a controlled way to slowly bring down prices and kind of band-aid fix the current economy, that would be fixing it. If he wants to reset it, then he would change the gem values so you farm a lot more gems per hour than what we do currently. So all the old gems farmed don't matter to anyone. And then he would add a bunch of new copies. So it would be basically a whole new era of trading. So he can go either way off of the wording. It sounded like he just wants to fix it, but I don't know if he would be looking to reset it entirely, which basically means does he want the old gems to have a lot of buying power in the new economy, or does he want the old gems to be irrelevant? If someone has a billion gems, are they going to be able to generate a ton of like S grade amethysts, S grade divines? Are they going to be that powerful in the economy, or are they going to only be able to buy some stuff? So we'll have to see what he does as far as that goes. Gems only might be one of the best options if he doesn't specifically try to counter that. So hold gems at your own risk because it's probably one of the most polarizing ones that you can pick. It's probably one of the worst options in general. As far as other things go, gambling from S grade mythics is just terrible. If you want them, go buy them directly. You're going to have to pay the wrap cost of S grades if you gamble on average, and it's not even guaranteed you get it. It would be better to save the gems and just go buy the thing directly. So don't gamble. If you want to gamble, it's for fun, not because it's a good strategy. As far as non-graded items go, we don't know how S grades are going to change, if they are going to change, and we don't know if single swords are going to be better or worse. If you love your S grades, keep them. But S grade hoarding is going to be somewhat iffy. As far as hoarding items for resale, I don't think hoarding items for resale is great. I would focus more on flipping. So if you find really cheap things to buy and then resell, go for that. I wouldn't buy a Divine Shadow for like 2 mil under and try to flip it for, hold it to sell it for 50 mil. That's not a good idea, in my opinion. So I would say just look for very good snipes and resell quickly is the goal. Um, One of the main strategies I think a lot of people think will be the best is ranked item hoarding. So if you can have champ scythes, diamond aegis, there's a pretty good chance those aren't re-added. But if all of the big mythics, so divine shadow, enigma, etc., all drop to 1 mil each, there's no way people are going to trade S grade enigma and S grade divine for a champ that isn't even A grade. So I think realistically the gem values will plummet relative to because they need to make sense trading for other items. A champ scythe is never going to be worth 2 S grade divines or something. No one's ever going to want to trade that. S grade champ or sorry, base champ does not look that good. Most of the people say how ugly it is. So the demand for it's pretty bad as an item in general, and I wouldn't say it's going to trade that well. I would say it would be lucky if champ doesn't fall below 60 mil. That's probably the best situation we're going to go to. If they don't change gem rates, I would guess Divine Shadow ends up being, 40 to 60 mil for S grade. And then champ is maybe 60 mil ish. I think that's probably the best case you're getting for champ if they update the way I'm guessing, which again, guessing. Don't go off of this as fact. This is just the way I see it. Do whatever you want and like address the economy however you want to. And if you think I'm wrong, do whatever strategy you think is best. Don't follow me blindly because it's just not a good idea. As far as selling packs, so opening light, mech, and spirit, I don't think it's really worth farming them, but the GemToki strategy I covered of running GemToki and Mech and Spirit, I think is really good. If you want to GemToki farm, that is the best way to do it. So I don't think the items are great to resell. It's mostly that getting the 10,000 or 8,000 gems per run from GemToki is much better than getting the 10,000 souls or gears. And you don't even have to kill the boss for that. So I think it's a good strategy. If you want to do it, I would say go for it if you want to actively farm. If not, I would say just abuse AFK aura until update and then just whatever you want to do with the gems. As far as the people that care about wrap over everything, I think it's a terrible idea. Wrap values will die if items are re-added at all. So I would say if you're one of the people that cares about wrap, try to hold items that will maintain value going into the update. So I have a bit of an odd perspective on this. I have no idea if it'll be correct, but Rainbow Chaos, Wrathblade, Spirit Scythe, Cursed Spirit Blade, and Warforged are all currently available. So there's no threat of them being re-added. So as stupid as it sounds and as bad as it is for demand, selling out all of your items for those items would probably be better. Now, we don't know if uh, Spirit Scythe War and Cursed Spirit Blade will become easier to obtain, but as long as the bosses aren't reworked to make them make Cursed Spirit Blade and Warforged drop like candy, realistically, CSB is 150k. It's not going to drop below 50k. So it should at worst lose 2/3 of its value versus holding something like Divine Shadow. Divine Shadow's 42 mil or something right now. If I can uh if I can sell off my Divine and get that many Chris Spirit Blades, as stupid as it sounds, then you might actually retain value pretty well. The issue is your demand for your inventory is going to be horrible, and the amount of time it'll take you to sell your inventory back out to get into the market again will be just abysmal. So I'd say do it at your own risk, but there's only so much that Cursed Spirit Blade, Spirit Scythe, and Warforged can really fall before they're like just worth the one gem. You can't lose that much. I mean, even Warforged, let's say Warforged is 200k. If it dropped to 10k, which it's not going to drop to 10k, you'd be losing 20x. Divine Shadow's 40 mil. Divine dropping to 1 mil is not that unreasonable to guess. So, if you want to trade out for smaller mythics, you might be able to minimize the amount that the market kills you. Same trading for Wrathblades might be a good idea. It's just a matter of if you want to do that or not. Now, the demand for those items is just horrible, but if those items get removed and rotated out for different packs, then they'll be removed again. So now the items will actually climb in value a bit. So I'm not saying this as it's a great idea, but if you want to keep a few Cursed Spirit Blades, a few Warforged, a few Wrath Blades, a few Rainbow Chaos, it's an option if you want to diversify your inventory. I don't think it's a bad idea. I think it's probably one of the safer strategies. It's just it's really boring and the upside isn't really that big. It's probably one of the safest ways to trade. So if you're if you have a very conservative trading style, so you don't like taking risk at all, that's probably one of your best bets. Now, I wouldn't say trading for S grade war and S grade spirit and all that's a great idea. If you want to, you can. But I would be looking to get S grade spirit sites from like 6 or 7 mil. I'd be looking to get war for maybe 4 or 5 at best. I'd be looking for CSB at probably 4. because reselling those items is a pain. And if you want high wrap, that's a decent way also. So that's my weirdest recommendation, and that might fit some of you. I don't think most people trade like that, but if you want to and you want to just try to maintain value above all else, I think it's one choice you can make. If you have, I don't know, hundreds of millions of wrap, investing 10 million or something into it, it's not a bad idea. It's more of a fallback than anything. So if you want to do it, go for it. It's a little bit weird, I know. I don't really like it as a recommendation just because of how boring it is, but some people might be excited to hear it. I don't know. And then as far as other things go, just hoarding wrap to hold wrap is stupid. Just have items you like. But if you want to maintain value, that's probably the safest way. And again, value matters more than wrap because in the new economy, we can easily go buy some cheap S grades to get wrap. So, you know, you can get S grade godlies in the new economy and go hard wrap. So it won't be an issue. As far as other things go, if you have AFK Aura and you have game passes for it, I would heavily recommend you run AFK Aura when you sleep. Now, if you're on mobile, it isn't relevant. I would recommend you stockpile some gems if you're on mobile. So maybe try to have 5 or 10 mil at least, just because if packs come back and you can open Oblivion day one, people will still want Amethyst for, kind of absurd rates for the first couple days. If you can sell an Amethyst for, 2 mil, 5 mil, something like that, day one, and Oblivion's re-added the way it used to be, where Oblivion items will level out below 1 million, then I would highly recommend you have some gems saved. You don't have to, but having a little bit of gems, a little bit of the currently available items is probably a safe bet. It's just a matter of how extreme you want to take it and where you want to lean with your strategy. Same until the update comes out, sniping cheap items and reselling them is going to be the best way to grow your account. So try to find, a Warforged for 100k, kind of just stupidly low things. I've been playing trading quite a bit recently, so I found like a Zen Sword for 19k. I found an Angel Aura for 40k. I found a Spirit Scythe for 40k. So just do that until the update, and you can make quite a bit if you aren't willing to do AFK Aura or you don't have the money to buy the game passes. As far as other strategies, Champ, Divine, and Enigma, I think are terrible items to hold. Well, Champ I talked about. Champ is okay, but the really big mythics, so Divine, Enigma, Eclipse X, Lotus, Amethyst, all that, I wouldn't really want to be holding because you could be seeing a drop of like 20 times or 40 times with Divine pretty easily. That's why I'm saying hoarding things like Cursed Spirit Blade, Spirit Scythe, as boring as it is, realistically, it's not going to drop as much as those items could. So if you want to keep in the big items, that's up to you. I think it's going to drop a lot. If you love the item, keep it. I don't want to be wrong and have someone lose their item though. So again, do what you want with it. I'm not going to make your decision for you. I'm just going to tell you my thought process. Uh, Hoarding the cheap mythics I talked about. In general, I think if you can hoard even elf and some of the winter items, that might not be bad. I might say wait till Christmas because I think he would ideally re-add the Christmas pack on Christmas. So I wouldn't be buying anything Christmas right now just because I would think there's a guarantee or not a guarantee. I think there's a pretty good chance of Christmas pack returning on Christmas at the very least. But we'll have to see what he does. And I've talked about what I'm doing mostly, but I'm going to be doing a bit of a mix. I want to hoard a lot of gems. I'd like to do pack opening videos as soon as the update comes out, if I can. Again, if the packs end up being a lot more expensive than I'm hoping they are or something, oh well, I don't care too much. I'm mostly doing the gems for content. And as far as items go, I'm doing a bit of what I said where I have a bunch of wrath blades and stuff, but the update isn't out yet, so I'm just trying to flip. A lot of people sell wrath blades, 50k or 100k under, or it kind of depends. So I'm trying to flip these and then rebuy them kind of as I'm able to. Same, I got this for like 350k with dual wield, and I'm gonna flip it for 450k or something, and then probably go buy a new one. So again, do whatever you want as far as hoarding items or gems or whatever. If you have items you love, keep them. I'm never going to tell you to sell things that you love unless we have a guarantee that you're going to make money. Uh, I'm just telling the recommendations. I'm just trying to stress this more because the last time I recommended people prep for the update, I don't think people understood me saying that they should keep what they like. But yeah, that's basically it for the video. If you have any questions, let me know. There might be some other ways I missed as far as how to prep, but this is the main way I'm viewing it and how I'm planning to prep. So I hope it helps. Have a good one.